take the old person's test or get out of office. You remember this?
Well, good afternoon, everyone. We're on a path to finishing the NDAA this week. It's been good bipartisan cooperation and a string of
Wait a minute. Are you good? Mitch?
Okay, Mitch.
Come on, Grandpa.
Anything else you want to say?
Time
Or
to
should we just
go
go
to
back to your office? Do you want to say anything else to the press? Okay.
Go ahead, John.
Passing the law.
I'll take it.
So what are we doing, America? What are we doing? Should it be a requirement to take the old person's test, the cognitive test, to stay in office? Well, in this country, if you're 85 and you want to keep your driver's license, you got to go down and pass a few tests to prove that you can still drive, that you don't run off the road and freaking kill a bunch of people, okay? If you want an entry-level job as a janitor, you got to pass a background test, okay? What are we doing, America? Should we require this? Apparently, it's not a requirement for Congress. If you're in Congress, apparently the only requirements is that you have a pulse and a working diaper, okay? That's the requirements. Just a pulse, make sure you're not gone, and make sure your diaper works, okay? So what are we doing here? Is this experiment over? Should we have a cognitive test to stay in office? I think we should. I think it's high time. Nobody wants to talk about this, America, but we need to have this conversation. The reality is that we've seen it all. You just seen the clip where Mitch McConnell froze mid-sentence, and he's not the only one to do things like this, okay? This is just an example, okay? The orange guy has done this a few times. But freeze mid-sentence and basically blank out like he doesn't know where he's at, doesn't remember his name. That alone should be a one-way ticket to, yeah, the retirement home. Yeah, Jell-O for everybody. Yeah, pudding for everybody. Yeah, diapers and bedpans. Yeah, it's time, okay? But we don't want to talk about this, okay? And that's just a typical Tuesday on the Capitol. There's a lot of old senators and congressmen. Yeah, they're in there. And we know it too, but we don't want to talk about this. Why are we letting these people that can't remember where they're at make laws and control what's going on in this country? Why are we still allowing that, America? Would you allow your grandma to take control of your everyday life and make rules? I might. She, no. No, we wouldn't, right? So why are we letting these politicians that are old and out of touch with the American people and they're out of touch with reality? Not that to get down on the aging population. That's not what this is about. But this is about being of a certain age and still functioning. They're not functioning, America. What is going on? We should demand this, and this shouldn't be a bipartisan deal. It doesn't matter what political affiliation, what letter you have after your name, R, D, I, T, elemental P. Doesn't matter. It should be a requirement, okay? We should demand this, okay? We should demand that once a year, they take a live test on television or live recorded test, and if they pass, okay, maybe they can continue. If they do not pass the test, they're out of there. Rotate them out, get them to the next guy. Rotate them out like they rotate tires. You wouldn't keep your old tires on your car. I mean, some people would, but you wouldn't. You're smart. So why don't we rotate them out? They shouldn't die in office. It should be a age limit. Cut them off. It's time to go, Grandpa. Only from Gen X perspective, okay? I'm not a spring chicken anymore. So I've lived a while. I've lived through a bunch of these old politicians making a big mess in this country, and then we have to clean it up. See, we're used to cleaning up the messes. We used to roll up our sleeve. Heck, we were kicked out of the house when the sun came out and didn't have to come back until the sun went down. So we know how to clean up our mess. We know how to look after ourselves. But we can't look after a country that's being ran by the geriatric elite. See? Yeah. It's being ran by them. And they're out of touch with the American public. They're out of touch with you and me. They're out of touch with reality half the damn time. See, they turned the U.S. Capitol into the world's most expensive assisted living facility. And we're taking care of these people. You've seen that. They had to walk Mitch off. He's not the only one. We're footing a bill for this. Okay? We're footing a bill for these senators to die in office. So you tell me, America, 65, the cutoff age. Should we just cut this thing off at 65? You're done. And some people might say, hey, cut them off at 50. Whoa, calm down. And others might say, hey, as long as they can continue to pass the test, leave them in office. Let them go ahead and prop them up and leave them in there. What do you think? Something that should seriously be considered, America. Well, if you like this content, go ahead and smash the subscribe button. Go ahead and hit the notification button and leave some comments, because this is a hotly debated topic, but they're old. They need to go, in my opinion. Take the test. Get out of here. And if you're watching this and you're old and in office, go take the test and get out of here. I'll see you on the next video. Peace.